When you're fishing, you do a cast. When you've broken your arm, you wear a cast. Mike Peru is half cast. Now listen to our podcast, The Edge.
My name is Bond, James Bond.
That's right. He is as fussy about his eggs like JJ is. He's circumcised like Dom, and he has an Aunt Nellie like I do. His name is Sir Roger Moore, famous for playing James Bond.
Where did you get that second fact from?
In his book that he's written, My Word is My Bond.
He's on the phone.
Wow.
Good morning, Roger. How are you and your circumcised penis?
I beg your pardon.
Wow, I can't believe you actually wrote about that. That's interesting.
Well, I think you have to let it... Well, I was going to say let it all hang out, but you have to be open about things. Being a slight hypochondriac, I feel only duty-bound to list all my ailments.
And can I just say, I've never read a book where so many doctors have been thanked in the final chapter.
Well, nobody's lived as long as I have.
And what's your secret? Because you're 81 years old now. How do you remain so sharp, mentally and physically? What's the secret?
Well, I think that I was born with good genes, and I have a wife that keeps me on my toes.
There you go. You might have the same thing then, Dom.
Right.
Your wife keeps you on your toes.
And you used to smoke. When did you give up smoking?
I gave up smoking in 1970, thanks to Tony Curtis.
Wow, really? How did Tony Curtis help you?
Well, he was the spokesperson in America for non-smoking.
Right.
That was back in the 70s, and he gave me a book that had a picture of a lung, and there was this red spot on it, and this is the cancer. And I took that. I was smoking like mad, and I got on a plane to go to the Bahamas, and the plane was delayed. We sat on the ground on the tarmac for about 4 or 5 hours, and the captain turned off the no smoking sign. In those days, you smoked on airplanes. And I smoked. By the missing a connection in Miami, by the time I got to the Bahamas, I'd smoked 3 packs in about 24 hours.
Oh, my God.
And the next morning, I got up, I walked down onto the beach, and I had a little swim, and then I coughed, and up came blood.
Oh.
So, I thought, no, that was imagination. I walked back up the beach, then I went back again. No, it was blood. I was coughing. So after a rather sleepless night, I arranged to meet a doctor early in the morning. My plan was that I would go back to England. I'd get a telegram from Lou Grade, who was the boss of television, say, come back to England immediately, so I'd have time to change my insurance policy before anybody found out. And so I saw this doctor, a friend in the Bahamas, got him to the next hotel. And I went over, and he said, okay, let me see your cough. He gave me a Kleenex. He said, let's see some of this blood.
Ugh.
So it was my favourite trick. He looked at it and he says, you've got a bleeding sinus. Your sinus is dripping, and that's all that's wrong with you. There's nothing. I said, come on. My shoulders are broad enough. I have things to do. I've got to change policies, and you've got to tell me the truth. He said, I tell you how sick you are. You play tennis? I said, yes. He said, I'll be over in an hour, and we'll play a few sets. Oh. But that scare was enough to swear me off cigarettes.
Mike, you need one of those.
Yeah,
I unfortunately started cigars.
Have you? Oh, that's different.
But my wife made me give those up 10 years ago.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, is this your first trip to New Zealand, or have you been?
Yes, sadly, this is my first trip, and I'm furious with life that has never brought me here before, because it is absolutely so beautiful, and we have so little time to see things.
Because you're going to be doing some book signings today at Whitcoulls and Borders. And
Yes.
So, and you're going to get a chance to do any of these sightseeing things?
I don't think there's going to be any time for sightseeing between book signings and interviews. But there's nothing wrong with that.
What is that?
Well, there is. Right outside our window at the Hilton Hotel, there is a great big cruise ship that came in overnight, and now we've got people wandering around on the deck, looking through the window at my wife half naked walking around the room.
Right, that's it. I'm getting on the boat.
Yeah, it's called the Peepers Cruise.
Now, Roger, I've read the first part of this book, and I'm loving it. One of the things I noticed, though, you didn't want to write it because you were scared it was going to intrude on people's privacy. Now that the book is out, has anybody come back and had a moan to you yet?
About not being included?
Well, just about being included in stuff you've revealed. Anyone had a go at you yet?
Well, I haven't revealed anything that's going to upset people,
Right.
except about people who are no longer with us.
Right. And did you regret not starting it earlier? Because I know you had a couple of attempts, but now that it's out, it's your life and people are talking about it, do you regret not starting it earlier?
Starting what earlier? Sorry.
The book.
Oh, I started 20 years ago to write, because Michael Caine said I should write a book because he had written one, and he wanted me to suffer too. And so, but I didn't want to write about life or things. I thought, I'll write my medical history. I wrote 15,000 words, and I was only up to 13 years of age.
You are a hypochondriac.
Wow.
And then unfortunately I had it on disc. I wasn't very computer smart, and I had no backup, and the disc was stolen at Geneva Airport, along with a lot of jewellery and money.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I didn't have the heart to go back to it until Christina started on me about 4 or 5 years ago, saying, I'm fed up with hearing you tell the same stories. Why don't you write them down and make the entire world suffer? So I wrote them down, and also did an abridged audio version. So people, if they don't want to read it, they can listen to it and feel even worse. No, you see, I get the sympathy vote in this book. They say nobody can go through that suffering in life and remain so calm and collected.
What are you wearing at the moment? I can imagine you're reclining with maybe one of the nice fluffy robes on. Are you a robe man?
No, I do. I have a number of robes, but I don't travel robes. I'm sitting. I've just pulled my socks on, and I'm going to put a tie on in a few minutes because I have to go out.
The thing I like about you, Roger Moore, is that you were James Bond when James Bond was less about fighting and, solving crimes and just more about getting with the ladies. I think you were probably Bond in the most fun Bond era ever.
Yes, I was a lucky boy.
You were.
I started off a lucky boy and ended up a lucky old man.
Do you still get any royalties or anything from those Bond movies that you did?
I never discuss money. Of course I get money from it.
I did wonder, I mean, you were such a big part of it. Surely the perks should still keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Can't be that good, though. You're 81 and you're still bloody working really hard.
No, my hard work is for UNICEF now. My work for UNICEF is remunerative only in the sense that children would benefit from it. I financially from UNICEF get $1 a year, which is tax-free. And I hope my wife's not listening because she doesn't know about it.
Hey, well, it's been really nice talking to you this morning.
Thank you.
Would it be wrong of us to ask you to give us the James Bond line before you go?
The name is Bond. James Bond.
Oh, that is beautiful. You are a legend, a very fulfilling life, and a wonderful book too. My Word is My Bond. A great Christmas present. So thank you for going to New Zealand.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you again when you put the follow-up out in a couple of years.
Okay.
Awesome. And if you actually want to meet Roger Moore and get your book signed, he's going to be at Whitcoulls in Queen Street, Auckland today at 4:30, and tomorrow at 12 o'clock at Borders in Sylvia Park. Awesome. He's got such an amazing voice, hasn't he?
Oh.